What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Horror, and today we are back with yet another tier list. Today we're going to be doing one. It was between horror movie tropes and horror movie subgenres, and I went with subgenres because I felt like there was less to go through here, and I created a master list of all the subgenres that I thought counted as far as horror, and I even looked up some lists to see, what other subgenres do people have? And I found a tier list that actually has most of the ones that I wanted to talk about, and it was created by a guy named CODY Leach, so if you've seen him on YouTube, credit to him for the tier list. I did change the tier names, and I added in 9 that I felt like I wanted to talk about, so I changed it up a little bit. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, but shout out to him for making this tier list. Let's get into it. Alright, so the tiers I have are as follow. We have Sign Me Up, I'm Listening, Let's See What You Got, Not My Thing, and Not Happening. So, starting off with Alien movies. Now, obviously, you have the Alien franchise, but otherwise, you got, like, Predator, Critters. Yeah, I think Alien movies, I'm listening. I'm not going to say that it's like, oh, it's an Alien movie, I have to go see it. If it's an Alien movie, I'm intrigued. I'm listening, you know. You got my attention. Like Nope was very good. There's been some good Alien movies as of recent, so I'm always excited to see a good new take on aliens, but not like top tier. Now we have animals. Not my thing. Obviously Jaws is in the picture here. Jaws is an amazing movie, but for the most part, I tend to not be too scared by animal movies, and a lot of them are pretty cheesy. Don't really like Cujo. Pet Sematary is not the best. Anaconda is not the best. Like, Placid's not just not my thing. I prefer more supernatural in my horror movies. That's not to say, obviously, there can't be a good animal horror movie. That's Jaws, like I just mentioned, but, not my thing. Anthology. Let's see what you got. I'm not gonna say Sign Me Up, but I do really like Anthology. Trick or Treat's one of my favorite movies ever. I like the VHS series. I haven't seen Creepshow. All Hallows Eve was pretty bad, but what usually happens with these movies is that there's one segment that I love, 2 segments that I'm like, and then like 1 or 2 segments that are pretty terrible. So it's like the quality here just kind of averages out to like right in the middle. So if it's Anthology, I'm usually pretty skeptical, but it can be very good sometimes. Backwoods. Not my thing. I feel like they usually end up being pretty bad. I mean, you got, obviously, Wrong Turn in the picture there. Otherwise, you got, like, Hills Have Eyes. Is that Backwoods? I haven't seen Hills Have Eyes, so I don't know. But I just kind of assumed. But yeah, it's just not usually my thing. They're not usually very good. Yeah. Body horror. Let's see what you got. It's not something that I would actively seek out. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm in the mood for a body horror movie. It would more be like, oh, I'm in the mood for The Fly right now, or I'm in the mood for The Substance, which I would seek out like a specific body horror movie, not the genre as a whole. But not to say that I don't like body horror movies. I do. It's just not something I actively seek out. Now we have cannibal movies. Also gonna go in not my thing. There's a lot of cannibal movies that work for me. There's some that are pretty good. But usually it feels like, what's the most disturbing thing we can go for? Let's just do that. Let's do all of that. Let's just throw all of the most disturbing things we can think of. And usually that ends up being, let's eat people. So, yeah, not my thing personally, but, like I said, not to say there isn't good ones. Horror comedy. I mean, again, not my thing. I prefer horror movies with comedic elements to them. Scream is a horror movie, first and foremost, but it has some comedy in it. Shaun of the Dead's pretty good. I like Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. There's horror comedies that I like. But whenever I hear something's a horror comedy, I'm usually pretty skeptical because it's just not personally like what I would go for in a movie. I like when there's comedic elements to a horror movie, but I don't like it when the comedy is what we're focusing on. Creature feature. Sign me up. Sign me up. Like, there's bad creature features, but I am always in the mood to see whatever new creature that this filmmaker has cooked up. I just watched Pumpkinhead the other day. That's one of the best creatures ever, and it's some, just low budget independent, or is it an independent? I mean, it feels like an independent film, but like, I'm just always interested in seeing whatever new creatures they can cook up, like Critters or Gremlins or The Thing or whatever. Like, it's always so fun seeing the new creatures that even if it's not a good movie, we can get a great creature out of it. Now we have crime, and crime, the genre of crime movies is not my thing, but a crime horror, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Like, obviously you got Seven pictured there. You got Silence of the Lambs in this genre. Those are two amazing movies. But I'm just not usually into the procedural stuff as much. But, like I said, there's some great ones. So, yeah. I'll let it play out, see what it's got, But, like, crime movies as a whole aren't my thing. Demonic possession. See what you got, but I mean, usually it just ends up being the exact same thing every single time, and it's like, I mean, you got The Exorcist, you got The Exorcism of Emily Rose. It's just, it's so hard to do original demon possessions because everything's already been done. So, when the whole plot centers on a demonic possession, not the best. Now we have extreme. Not my thing. I don't like movies that are just like, let's go as hard as we can, and as gory as we can, and as messed up as we can. I prefer that to be, more of a side dish to the movie, to the actual movie. Like, there's so many movies where it's like, that's the whole gimmick, is that we're just going as hard as humanly possible. And they sacrifice plot and characters to do that, so not my thing. Folk horror. See what you got. There's some very good ones. Obviously Midsummer's pictured here. That one's pretty good. Otherwise, like, what are some other ones I can think of? Like, The Wicker Man's pretty good. Paranormal Activity 7 is not good, but that would fit this category. Yeah, I mean, they're usually pretty decent, at least. I feel like they're some of the scariest horror movies. I'm scared by folk horror, but they're usually just kind of like okay. I mean, even Midsummer, I'm not the biggest fan of. Found footage. This is one of my guilty pleasures. Sign me up. I love found footage movies. Okay, Paranormal Activity is my favorite film ever. I love the sequels. I love the Blair Witch Project. I love the VHS movies. I like Cloverfield. Like, it's my guilty pleasure. Found footage feels so comforting for me. Like, it's like comfort food. Like, between this and slasher movies, if I'm in the mood for a horror movie, I'm always in the mood for a slasher or a found footage film. Found footage is just, it's such a comfy, warm genre for me. Like, that just always, it's close to my heart. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah, I love it. Now we have Giallo. Let's see what you got. I feel like a lot of the Giallo movies that I've watched, they are good. Like, I've seen Suspiria, that's obviously amazing, but otherwise, like, films like A Bay of Blood just kind of end up, is Bay of Blood fully Giallo? It feels Giallo if it's not, but, they're just, a lot of them don't work as well for me, but I'm always willing to give them a chance because I like the style of Giallo. Speaking of liking the style, Gothic, I'm putting this into I'm listening. Like, Sleepy Hollow, obviously in the picture here, Lisa Frankenstein, films like that. I love the Gothic aesthetic, but it still needs to be a good movie beyond just it's Gothic. Like, Sweeney Todd is a good movie, and it's also Gothic. Sleepy Hollow is a good movie, but it's also Gothic. Like, I like the style, but you need to have a good movie otherwise. Like, if I see it's Gothic, I'm going to be more interested in picking it, but it's not going to be like, oh, I know I'll love it because it's Gothic. Home Invasion. Let's see what you got. I don't like The Strangers, which is what's pictured here. I think it's extremely boring, but there's some good home invasion movies. Hush. Even, I mean, The First Purge is technically a home invasion. Not The First Purge. The First Purge movie is kind of a home invasion. They're pretty scary, But, like I said, the one in the picture there, Strangers, is probably the most well-known, and I think it's boring as hell, so. Kaiju. Not my thing. It's a lot like, where was it? Demonic Possession, where it's just hard to do new stuff, because it's like, yeah, giant monster, destroy town. We destroy monster. That's the whole movie. Like, Godzilla -1 was pretty good. I like the 2014 Godzilla. Cloverfield's pretty good, but, like, otherwise, it's so hard to do new creative things with this subgenre because everything's already been done. Now we have paranormal, and this is my preferred. Like I said, I like some more supernatural horror. I'm going to put paranormal in to sign me up. It'll always make a movie better for me. I personally think this is probably the scariest subgenre in horror. I know a lot of people probably would be like, no, torture is the scariest. No, religious is the scariest. But I think paranormal is the scariest. I love, obviously, Paranormal Activity is my favorite film ever. I love Poltergeist. I love all those movies. So, yeah, paranormal's up on the top. Parody. Not happening. Sorry. Like, there's, you got the Scary Movie series. You got the Haunted House series. There's, like Grave Encounters almost one. They're not good. I do not like parody movies. Scary Movie is funny. Scary Movie 2 is decent. There is not another parody movie that I could say I fully like. Even the non-horror ones. Spaceballs I just watched recently, it's not that good. Post-apocalyptic. Depending on what the apocalypse is, like, obviously you got Quiet Place here, you got, like, zombie apocalypses, you got, like, infection stuff. I'm gonna put it in I'm listening, because I like post-apocalyptic stuff, because you have so much creative work. Like, you have so much to go off. It's basically a blank canvas that you can use. And I like seeing what people cook up. Obviously, The Walking Dead is my favorite TV show, so I really love that show. But otherwise, Quiet Place is great. I love me some zombie movies. But we do have zombie subgenre coming up here in a little bit, which we'll talk about that a little bit more. Psychological. I'm listening to psychological. I like psychological movies. I like them. But I prefer when it's like something else with the psychological. Like Shining is very good, and that's one of the few that it's like straight up only psychological, and it's great. But I love like Hereditary, where it's like a demon movie, but it's also psychological. So I like a little bit extra in there. Psychological can tend to be a little bit boring, but I'm still always down for a good psychological movie. Religious. I want to put it in not happening, but I'll put it in not my thing, because there are some good ones, but it's just, I've never gotten into this side of horror. Like, I get it, if you're, like, a lot more religious than I am, these would probably be terrifying for you. I know some people in my life that these are horrifying and the scariest horror movies by a landslide, but for me, they just never are. I never get into the religious kind of lore and, the demon lore and the angel. It's not my thing. So I want to put it in the bottom because I just don't usually like them, but I feel like out of respect, I'll put them in not my thing. This one I'm putting in not happening. Sorry. No. I've seen I Spit on Your Grave and Revenge. And Revenge is decent, but I Spit on Your Grave is what I've heard most of this subgenre is. And I don't want to watch that, okay? So it's usually like an hour and a half. The first 45 minutes is a woman being violated. And the second half is the woman killing the people who did it. That's every single one of them. Slasher. Like I said, this is my comfort food. Like, you found footage in slasher movies. I'm always happy popping on a slasher movie. If you're a horror fan, you like slasher movies. And if you're a horror fan, you don't like slasher movies, then you're pretentious. Slapstick or splatstick. They can be done good. I love Dead Alive. Not my thing. Because usually it's just like, yeah, let's see how gory we can go, and then that's the whole gimmick. Like in Terrifier. But like I said, there are some that I like, so I won't put it in the bottom. Superpower. Let's see what you got. I mean, Carrie's one of my favorite movies ever. Brightburn was fine. This is one that I didn't even think of that he had on the list. This is probably the only one that he had on the list that I'd never thought of, because I just didn't think that was really a subgenre, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, yeah, no, that's totally a subgenre. Torture. No, like, it's just, there's a way to do it that it's good. But there's so many that's just like, yeah, let's make it as messed up as we can, but we're not going to put in any plot. We're just going to make them come to see how graphic we can get. And so much like Splatstick, it's just not my thing, personally. Vampires. Vampires are going to go in I'm Listening, and werewolves are actually right after it. So werewolves are going to go into Sign Me Up. Vampires I like, but I feel like they're a bit played out. We've gotten some good vampire movies in the past couple years here with, like, Sinners and Abigail, and even Last Voyage of the Demeter was pretty good. But werewolves are just my thing. I love werewolf movies. Ginger Snaps is one of my favorite films ever. I love The Howling. American Werewolf in London's great. I just love the creature effects. When they transform is always so good, and I love seeing what new makeup effects you can have for a transformation sequence. And I just love you can do such creative things with the werewolf story. Witchcraft. Let's see what you got. I like a good witch villain, but when the whole movie centers on witchcraft, not my thing. But now we have zombie. I would have probably put it in Sign Me Up a while ago, but now that I did that 31 on 31 where I went through and watched like every zombie movie, I'm going to put it in I'm Listening, because now that I realize there is some flaws of the genre that tend to be reused every single time. Now we have the ones that I added here, that I was like, yeah, no, I feel like these are subgenres that I need to talk about. So starting off, we have pregnancy. So this is like the Antichrist. So like, Rosemary's Baby, Immaculate, First Omen, but also could be like, what was that one that came out a few years ago? I don't remember, but like Titan, some movies like that. And I feel like it's pretty scary. I mean, I'm not a woman, so obviously it would be a lot more scary for them, considering they are the ones that would have to go through this. Let's see what you got. Now we have robots and androids, like, Terminator, RoboCop, Megan, stuff like that. I'm listening. I think if I were to pick, like, an alien invasion or a robot invasion, I would pick a robot invasion, because it's much more scary, because it's much more realistic. Speaking of realistic, AI. So this is movies like Cam, that I have pictured here, or, like, Unfriended. Unfriended's the supernatural one. What am I thinking of? I don't remember. But either way, AI is terrifying. So Sign Me Up. Cam is one of my favorite movies ever. Now we have cult movies. Not happening. Sorry. Not my thing. I can't stand cult movies, because there's so many. It's like, oh my god, we have this super creative concept, but then last second, guess what? It was all a cult. Everybody's in on it. It's so cliche. I hate it so much. So, no. Stalker movies. So, like, The Watcher or The Watcher. Again, I feel like they'd be more scary for women, but let's see what you got. Then we have escape movies. I didn't really know how to phrase this, but like, like The Black Phone, like a kidnapping where you're trying to escape from a place, or a Saw Trap where you're trying to escape from a place, like trying to get out of somewhere. I feel like escape is probably the best way to describe that, and I usually like these ones I like these, and it's usually like a one location, like Locked that came out last year, where he's in a car and he's trying to escape, and I usually end up liking them, so I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's an escape movie, sign me up, get me that movie, but they're usually pretty good. Now we have action horror, and this is what I really wanted to talk about, because you got like the Purge movies, you got like Predator, you got like The Hunt, which I have pictured here. Let's see what you got. I feel like people, when they hear action horror movies, they're like, no, it's not horror. Like, Terminator, people are like, nope, not horror, because it's action. Or Predator, nope, not horror, because it's action. It can be multiple genres, guys. Speaking of which, horror romance. There's a lot of things that I, like, even found footage isn't much of a guilty pleasure, because there's still a lot of people that love it. Or horror romance, that's my guilty pleasure. I'm not going to put it in Sign Me Up, but I'm putting it in I'm Listening. Lisa Frankenstein's one of my favorite movies ever. Return of the Living Dead 3, I love. I haven't seen Shape of Water, but I'm sure I would really like it. Guilty pleasure subgenre for me. And lastly, we have Haunted House. This kind of goes hand in hand with, like, paranormal, but I felt like it was a lot different, because there can be a paranormal movie that isn't a haunted house, but, like, The Conjuring, it's the house. Like, yeah, so, I feel like these are usually the most, like, cliche horror movies that happen nowadays. So I'll put this one in Let's See What You Got. I'm not gonna, not watch it because it's a haunted house movie, but I feel like they tend to be pretty basic. And that is going to be my completed tier list here. I have gone through how many? I don't even know. 31 plus the 9 I added, so 40 subgenres here. Let me know if there was any I missed. Let me know some of your own thoughts on these. And I love seeing this specific tier list because there's so much drastic, like, change between people's list. Like, some people love found footage and love slasher movies, and the other people are like, no, found footage is my least favorite genre. And so there's just so much fluctuation between people's taste in horror films, so I really like seeing this. So that's going to be it for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe and you want to see more videos like it in the future. Make sure to hit the bell notification to be notified when I post any brand new videos. Comment down below some more video ideas for me or your own thoughts on any of these subgenres. And until next time, I'm Ethan Horror. This has been Ethan Horror.